everyone, and welcome to a new week. I'm sorry that last week's video didn't come out till like later Sunday. I just wasn't feeling very good this past weekend, so I didn't get it edited until like Sunday afternoon to even upload it. Today is the first day, official day at the elementary school placement. I'm getting ready to go. It's kind of weird not being at work by now because it's now like 7:36 and usually I'm out of the house by now and been at work for a good 15-20 minutes by now. But I'm not even out of the house yet. It did give me time to like really like kind of get ready and take my time getting ready. Like I actually ate a decent breakfast, which was nice. My husband's taking me today. I was considering taking the bus, but I don't want to do the bus today. So my husband's gonna take me because he took the week off so that he could just have a week off of work, and it falls perfectly because we have clean checks for our apartments or our duplex this week. Starting tomorrow, they could come in anytime between like 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. or something like crazy like that. So he's gonna spend today cleaning, getting things taken care of, kind of a thing, which is nice. Today there's gonna be a lot of just observation of me, just kind of making sure that students are staying on task and walking around and stuff like that. I don't think I'm gonna be doing really any teaching or anything like that today. Give me just a sec. Just hold it right there. I have my son fill up my water bottle for me. Okay, like, twist that there on. Was an earthquake. Twist it on.
Hello.
Trying his best. And there's
Okay,
Ira.
there we go. Clown me.
They're wearing the same shirt.
Okay. Clown me.
I honestly don't know what time contract is
Hi,
done, because I don't even really know what time school
Hi, Clown.
is over. So
You're my clown. No.
I think school's over at like 3:15. So I think 3:45 would be end of contract. I'm not entirely sure. So but we're gonna try to be leaving here in the next like 20 minutes. So I'm just trying to get everything ready. My lunch is already in the fridge. They are so noisy today. So hopefully I make it through, because again I don't feel super great today.
Another leg up.
I'm gonna let you guys go and I'll talk to you after school. Good morning, everyone. I realized this morning that I never talked to you guys after school yesterday. So let's first do a rundown of yesterday and how yesterday went for me. It was mostly an observation kind of day where I was more helping, I guess, with the class. Didn't mind it. It let me see kind of into their procedures, stuff like that. I did grade some tests. I'm going through a like centers project thing for next week, trying to figure out what we need to complete that. Oh, I'm out of breath. What else did I do? I helped some kids with math during math time. I kind of walked around and helped one kid in particular. In the afternoon, there was a phone call to the classroom, and it was the principal wanting me to go down to the office and talk to him. And so the teacher got off the phone, she looked at me and she said the name. And she's like, you know, so-and-so wants to see you in the office, and all this was like, ooh, you're in trouble. So I go down to the office, and the secretaries, I'm like, whatever it is, I didn't do it. And I went in, but I had a nice conversation with the principal, and he wants this experience to be the best that it can be and be something that I truly learn from. Because I did my observations there last year in 3rd grade, he told me that, you know, I'm waiting to turn here. that the teacher that I was with last year, her test scores were really good. And it was her first year teaching. It was like a high stakes testing year for her, and just all of this. And he goes, and she did really well, and he's like, I attribute part of that to you being in there and helping, which felt really good. And I had a really good connection with the 3rd grade teacher from last year, and it was a professional relationship. Like, I don't know what she does exactly on her free time and stuff like that, but it was a good professional relationship, and I really enjoyed working with her. And he told me that, you know, she just raves about me, and then he said that he was worried about me, and I don't know if worried was really the right word for it, but he wants what's best for me in the school. And the way he was talking to me, like, I have a mentor teacher in the 3rd grade teacher I was with. I have a mentor teacher in the 4th grade teacher that I'm with, and I truly feel like I have a mentor in him as well. And I think that's what he wanted it to be. And I don't know if he sits down personally like that with all of the student teachers that come in and stuff like that, but and has that deeper conversation with them. And I think he had that with me because I was there last year, and so we already had a rapport. Oh, it's bright. We already had a rapport and stuff, and so it was really nice to sit down and talk with him. Everyone kept asking me what my first day with student teaching there was like and how I felt. And I was like, well, I'm already initiated. I broke the copy machine. I didn't really break it, I jammed it with paper. But it was just funny that, you know, I had to go to the office my first day. I'm like, I jammed the copy machine. It's not working now. And they had to come in and help me fix the copy machine. So it was just funny. Today, I do know that I'm going over the tests that the kids took yesterday with them, because oh my gosh, I'm so out of breath. A lot of them got right answers, but I had to mark them wrong because they didn't write them in complete sentences. They didn't put a capital letter at the beginning of the sentence. They didn't put a period at the end. And so when I went through it and I told the teacher, was like, well, how do they do? I'm like, answer wise, they did great. I'm like, a lot of them probably would have gotten hundreds. And I was like, but they didn't write in complete sentences, and you told them beforehand that they had to write in complete sentences. And so I had to mark it off. And so I brought home a copy of it last night, and I wrote out the answers the way that they wrote them out. I'm gonna go over it with them today, show them, you know, what I saw that was wrong and stuff like that, and how, you know, a lot of them had really great answers, but they needed to fix these small things. And so, and then I'm gonna pass back the tests, and I'm gonna sneeze, and let them make corrections. So I know I'm gonna head that up today. We're also going to be starting some trackers with some students today, because after school I was talking to the host teacher, and because I do have, and this felt good too. So the host teacher, we were sitting and we were talking after school, and we were talking about some of the students in the class. And one of the students, I truly believe has reactive attachment disorder. And so there's certain behaviors that the student was displaying that I'm like, yep, which I know a lot about. I grew up in a family that, there were kids in my family that had that. And it's hard. It's really hard. And then there's other students that are like, she calls it like Tigger, really bright, but just all over the place and wanting to shout everything out. I told him that reminds me a lot of my oldest son. And like, if he didn't go to the school that he goes to, where it is so, I guess, strict from day one, he would be like that. Like from kindergarten, it was like strict. So I gave her a suggestion. I was like, why don't we give him a post-it notepad? Anything that he wants to say out loud, answer-wise, or anything like that, just any thoughts that he wants to say, let's redirect it onto the post-it notes, so that now he writes it down and we can come check him and stuff like that. And if he could do that all the way up until recess, maybe he'll get like a Tootsie Roll or something like that. And like, and then if he does it all the way up until lunch after recess, he gets another one. And then up until prep, another one. And then to the end of the day, another one. So up to like 4 pieces today. And she's like, I really like that idea. So I think we're gonna start that today. So it's like a tracker, kind of. And then there's another student who just doesn't have the confidence. And because he doesn't have the confidence, he doesn't have the motivation to do the work, pretty much. And so he's not motivated to keep working. And so it's like, well, let's do another tracker with him. And like, and this week it's gonna be like anything he does that's good, he gets a little mark. And after so many marks, he gets like a little piece of candy, or some money to the store, or something like that. And like in the next 2 days, it's gonna be everything gets a tally mark. Any positive thing gets a tally mark. And like, and then you kind of back off on how many you give constantly. But for the next few days, it needs to be everything positive. Something, it needs to have that positive reinforcement. Because I noticed yesterday with the student, like, I would sit down with him, I would help him with a math problem, and then I'm like, okay, you need to do this one, and then I'll come back and I'll check it after I walk around the room, and then he'd be working on it, and then to come back, I'd sit down and I would check it with him. Most of the time he'd get it wrong, but he was trying, and so, and he'd be able to see his mistake afterwards. So we're gonna do that with him. And then some other students, she just didn't know if she was being too hard on them. I was like, no, I'm like, if they're not getting that structure at home at all, they need it here. They need to have structure somewhere. So that's how yesterday went and how today's gonna go. And I will check in with you guys after. So I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, here's me again. Just pulling out. So there's a Kirby. There we go. Okay. So just guys, on the struggle bus right now. So obviously school is over. It is actually now 5:30-ish. And I am going home. So I ended up cutting another clip late. You're not even gonna see it because it was like 5 seconds long. So I had parent-teacher conference after school for my kids. So not for the school that I'm at or anything like that, but it's for my kids. My 2 that go to elementary school, they're in a charter school, which is like pretty much just down the road from the elementary school that I'm doing my student teaching at, which works really great. Anyway, I was getting out of the elementary school a little late, so I couldn't go home and pick them up and bring them with me like I wanted to do, and so I called them, let them know, hey, I can't do that. And my oldest son was devastated. This is really bright. He was absolutely devastated. And so I went ahead and I ended up FaceTiming them for each of their conferences. so that they could be a part of it, which I think worked out really well. So that's what we did. FaceTimed them, got the parent-teacher conference done, and I'm back to my school day. It went okay. I did a lot of like help with math and stuff like that. I went over some things. Really, I'm just trying to still get the groove of how the class works and how the lessons are taught. I know that once I actually start planning lessons, I'm gonna need to like plan them with the teacher and figure it all out, because it just seems like so much, because it is so much. It's an elementary school. You're teaching everything, like absolutely everything, and it's so much. So yeah, I did that today. I started some kids on the trackers. That worked really well today. So behavior was a lot better. We had more kids on task. It was just all a lot better. And then we just had some good conversations again after school, where she was just asking me a lot of questions about certain things, and I was giving her my opinion on things, and I'm like I try to keep my mouth shut. And because here's the thing, we have a student with an IEP in our class. It's a math IEP, and he's getting 100% on all of his homework. He's getting 100% on all of his tests and everything. There's a disconnect, because when you ask him to do something on his own, and he does a lot of his math in the resource room, but if you ask him to do it on his own, he can't do it. This is a really bad shadow, but I'm gonna go with it. So there's a major disconnect between the scores that he's getting and what he's actually proficient in. There's something going on there. So we're trying to figure out how to improve that. I also brought up the fact, I don't know, there's so many things that are going on, because there's some kids that can't do the work, like they just don't get it. There's others that like won't do it. Not very many, but some of them won't do. Stuff like that. So just a lot of brainstorming that's gonna be going on, a lot of figuring things out, and it felt good today. The teacher's like, you know, we make a really good team. And so I think a lot of this teaching experience in the elementary school is not gonna just be me teaching, it's gonna be us team teaching it. And I like that thought, that like I really have that support and that backing and just stuff like that. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm almost home, so I'm gonna eat and charge my camera because it's about to die, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. So last day of school tomorrow. It's a short week, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Good morning. I'm still at home. I'm about to go, but my battery, I forgot to charge it last night, so I'm gonna leave my battery here. So I'm gonna do the intro now. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing today. Just kind of helping out. If she asks me to step in to do something, I'll do it, kind of a thing. Next week is when I'm gonna start teaching writing and stuff like that. So I'm gonna start teaching things next week, like for sure. But this week was more just really get a vibe of the class, try to learn the students' names, stuff like that. I think I'm doing a pretty good job with that. Like I said, I'm gonna leave my camera here so I can charge it, and I'll talk to you guys when I get back. So, bye. Well, good morning. So, I never recorded Wednesday after school. and I never edited and posted this weekend. So this is going to be a 2-week long vlog. So weeks 9 and 10. That's what this vlog is gonna be, you guys. So things are just kicking my butt right now. So Wednesday, I'm trying to think back to Wednesday. The kids were kind of crazy on Wednesday, but that was also because we were going into fall break. My camera's not level. There we go. We were going into fall break, and so they like went crazy. And so we ended up doing a project at the end of the day, just instead of doing the curriculum that we had planned. And so I was in charge of the project, so I cut out all the paper that I needed and stuff like that. It took me forever to get all that taken care of. And then they did the project. They learned how to do multiplication the old, traditional old-fashioned way, like long multiplication. And they're like, this is so confusing. And I'm thinking, like, that's what I grew up on, man. Like, that's all I knew. We didn't have all these cool tricks to like to do all these things. So yeah, today I am teaching writing. I'm kind of taking over the writing at this point. And by the end of the week, I'll also be taking over math. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about it in just a minute. I have to like let you go so I can put some gas in my car. I can talk to you now because I'm waiting for it to turn. I'm really nervous to take over classes. Like, honestly, I'm scared to take over classes at the elementary school. I don't know why. It's like a completely different teaching method. But the middle school, like, I was totally fine. I jumped. One day I wasn't teaching anything, and the next day I was teaching all day. Like, just jumped right on into it. But with the elementary school, like, for some reason, I'm like nervous that I'm going to fail and that I'm not going to do well, and I just have a lot of nerves about teaching at the elementary school. And so, and I'm sure as soon as I get going, I'll be fine. But like at the moment, I'm terrified of teaching. So hopefully it all turns out all right and everything, but it just, like I said, it scares me. Yeah, it scares me. So I'm gonna go ahead, put a little bit of gas in my car, hopefully to get me through the week, and then go from there. And so I'll talk to you guys after school today. Bye. Hello. You guys after school, and let me tell you, oh gosh, you guys. So I taught a lot more today than I thought I was going to teach. That's totally okay. It really is. It's okay. Or like she'll just be like, hey, can you take over this for a sec? And I would start teaching it. And it all turned out fine. I wanted to stay a little bit later, but I have to run an errand, and they close at 5 o'clock. And it is now 4:10. So I have to get there, and hopefully they can do what I need them to do today. But funny story. So last time I saw my clinical supervisor, we scheduled the appointment to be for this Thursday for her to come in and observe. Well, I guess little over a week ago. She emailed me and changed the day, but I didn't realize that she changed the day to tomorrow. And so I sent in this weekend my lesson plan for Thursday, when I should have done a lesson plan for tomorrow. So that was awesome. I'm glad that I checked my email at school, because I would not have known. So I'm gonna go home after I'm done, hopefully have enough time before I have to work tonight to rewrite the lesson plan for tomorrow. I was totally planning on working all my hours this week, but I might have to try to get VTO today because I need to write out a new lesson plan and just go over everything, because yeah, that happened. So yeah, oh my goodness. So I'm gonna observe tomorrow at school. And so I told my cooperating teacher, I was like, so you know how I thought I was being observed on Thursday? She's like, yeah, we're ready, we're good. I'm like, yeah, I'm being observed tomorrow. And she was like, oh. And then we had to rework everything a little bit. Really, it's not reworking the schedule though. It was just me picking up where we are tomorrow, which is the last section of the chapter. It's a really weird spot for me to take over teaching. I really wish that I could have started taking over at the beginning of the next chapter or something for math. Like I said, it's just a weird place for me to pick up. But here we go. I'm teaching math starting tomorrow. Slowly taking over classes. So I started writing today, starting math tomorrow. I think I'll be good with that. I did teach some of the reading today. It's called Elevate. It's a curriculum called Elevate. I did teach some of that today. And I helped out with math. Like I've kind of been helping out with like everything throughout the day and everything, but it's just, yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go though, so I can drive to where I need to go. Hopefully I can get this errand taken care of and squared away, because that would help me tremendously. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and so see ya. Bye. Good morning, everyone. Oh geez, so today it is Tuesday, the 23rd. And I am on my way to the school. I'm leaving a little bit later than I normally do. It's like 8:10. Oh, you guys, I am on the struggle bus. So, I'm trying to think the way to put all this. So I'm being observed. So we found out, I told you guys yesterday, that I thought I was being observed on Thursday, but I guess I read the email wrong, and I feel so unprepared right now because I emailed her the lesson plan for Thursday and not for today. So I went home yesterday. I ended up getting VTO about an hour after I started working. Probably should have had it the entire time, because I was just stressing out the entire time while I was working. Like, it was just not a good thing at all. And so after I got my VTO, so I stopped working, I went into my room, I shut myself in my room, I went over today's math lesson, and I went over today's math lesson, and I wrote a lesson plan for it, and I printed it out so that when my clinical supervisor comes today, I can at least hand her that thing and just apologize profusely for sending her the wrong lesson plan and and for being late on it, and just having, I'm just gonna come out and say it, having a pregnancy brain, because I am pregnant again. And I am very scatterbrained right now. I'm not feeling the best. And I'm trying my best to fake it till I make it at this point, because it is seriously a struggle where I am winded constantly and I feel sick constantly. So it is, I'm on the struggle bus right now for this placement. My host teacher knows, my principal knows, so that if I end up running out of the classroom, they know that I'm not running away from the kids and I'm not trying to get away from things. It's because I do not feel well. And yesterday it was a really big struggle for me at the school, where to the point I keep trying to push myself to go do even more, because I don't want to have the appearance of me not doing anything when I am doing things. And I want to give it my all. Like, that's who I am. I want to give it my all. And the teacher actually told me quite a few times yesterday that I needed to sit down and I needed to take a few deep breaths, because I looked sick yesterday. And I don't want to look sick today. So that's the makeup. I'm hiding it all. I will be telling my clinical supervisor today. And yeah, I was really shocked, because if you've been here for more than a month and you've been watching my videos, you know that last month I had a miscarriage, and so I was having a panic attack big time when I found out. I'm in front of my kid's school. I pass my kid's school to get to the school that I go to, and I still pay somebody to take my kids to and from school. It's worth it. Yeah. So observation today. We're gonna do story problems with like multiple step story problems, and with like 2-digit multiplication. And like, yeah, so that's what the math lesson is on today. And if we have time, we might do some review for the test. I don't know if we're going to have time for that though. I'm pretty much just gonna keep going until I feel like modeling until I feel like the students get what we're doing and are able to find the information in the story problem. I remember growing up, story problems were not my forte. I hated story problems. I think everybody hates story problems. So this really should be interesting. And like I said, I wasn't planning on teaching this lesson until the very end of the day yesterday. So it's gonna be good. Fake it till we make it. We can do this. I am almost at the school, so I'm probably gonna let you guys go. I'm not doing any writing, anything today, because we have computer lab. So pretty much I'm doing math, and then anything that the teacher just wants me to fill in if she needs to step out or anything like that, I am doing that as well. Which there was a lot of that yesterday, and I don't mind. Like, I can just step in and just take over, and it's okay. And I told her yesterday, I was like, I don't know why, but I'm really nervous about taking over the elementary class. Like, I'm really nervous about it. And she's like, well, you've been doing fine. She's like, you're not losing control. You're doing just fine. I'm like, I know, but I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I'm nervous about taking, I'm like, and I'm faking it right now. I'm like, I'm faking it till I'm making it, because I'm nervous. And I think I know what it is. So in the middle school, I taught 2 lessons throughout the entire day, and I was responsible for teaching them curriculum that was going to be on one end of the year test. I am now responsible for teaching these elementary school students every single subject. So everything that's going to be on that end of the year test, I'm going to be responsible for teaching these students. And that's just overwhelming. Like, that's a lot. It's a lot. So but now I really am really close to school. So I am going to let you guys go as soon as I turn, and I will talk to you after school, and I'll let you know how everything went. So, bye. Hello, hello. Oh, this lighting's horrible, sorry. Hopefully it gets better as we drive on. So it is after school. It is now about 4:50, and I am just now leaving. Contract hours are at 4:05 at this school, so I did stay a little bit late. That's okay. I just met my move goal. Out of breath. So first things first, how did the observation go? I feel like it went okay. I apologize profusely to my clinical supervisor, but the fact that I gave her the wrong lesson plan, and so I had a copy of the correct lesson plan with me so that I could give that to her. So that's what I did. I gave that to her first. We did our, we talked before, and then she just kind of got up and left during the lesson. But a lot of, because it was the word problem, so we talked about how to solve them, what we needed to do, what kind of information we needed to look for, stuff like that when you're solving these word problems. And then I would have the students telling me what to do, or they would give me these answers, so I'd write down exactly what they would tell me. Like, no, you did that wrong. And I'm like, well, I did what you told me to do. And so they had to really think about it and really explain to me how to solve the math problems and how to do it, because if they can explain it to me in that much detail how to do it, then I know that they know how to do it. So they thought it was silly. It got them really engaged. Students, they absolutely loved it, because I was like, I don't know how to do this. You have to tell me how to do this. And so yeah, they really enjoyed it. And after school, the teacher told me, my host teacher, she said that she was very impressed. She's like, everyone was engaged, that everyone was participating, that, you know, they had an interest in it. And that's just the kind of person I am. That's the way I want to teach, bring that fun into it, kind of a thing. But still, it was an organized chaos, but it was okay. There was a lot of praising going on. There was a lot of, I'm really excited to see the comments that my clinical supervisor has for me. Just because I'm really excited to see it. So that was that. I didn't teach writing today because we didn't have time for writing. There's a car there. So I'm trying to think if I did really any other teaching per se. I wasn't over any other lesson today, and that was okay. I just kind of helped a lot and stuff like that, and I'm totally fine with that. Tomorrow I'll be teaching the Elevate lesson, because it has a lot to do with the color coding that I'm going to be introducing to them. And so I'll be doing the Elevate lesson. So I'll be doing the math lesson. I am officially taking over math, so I will be teaching math from here on out until I give that subject back. So tomorrow for math, we're going to be doing review. I'm trying to figure out a way to make it more of a game kind of a thing for them. And then, so yeah, more of a game. Sorry guys, I'm all over the place and scatterbrained right now. And then I'll be teaching the wholes lesson, because they're reading wholes. And so that's chapter 36 and 37, I believe. 35 and 36. I think it's 36 and 37, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll be teaching that tomorrow. And I'll be teaching writing. So I'll be doing 3 things, and those are like 3 big things. So she'll do the, it's called Reward. It's like a grammar book. Honestly, I never want to do that one. I'll do it though. I mean, I don't want to. But she'll be teaching that, and she'll be doing the science, the dichotomous keys, and I'll just be pretty much doing the rest of it tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm already tired. I need to take a nap. But it was a good day. And I'm glad that it was a good day. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. And yeah, so see you later. Bye. Good morning, everyone. I am here at the school. I'm here a little bit later than I normally am. It's 8:26. Still totally within contract time. So I'm about to head on in. Today, like I said, I think yesterday, I'm teaching math junk. I forgot the buzzer. I'll have to replan this. I'll have to think about it. I'll get in there and I'll think about it, how I'm gonna do this today. Because I forgot the buzzer. I was thinking of everything else except for the buzzer this morning. And I even thought of it for like a brief moment, but I didn't grab it. Crap. Okay, so I'll have to rethink how I'm gonna do the math review. It'll be fine. We'll be reviewing math, and then I'll be teaching the Elevate lesson with holes. So we'll be reading holes, and then we'll be going through some color coding things. So it'll be a good day. I just have to rethink how I'm going to be doing the math, because I was going to do it as a game between the groups, but because I was going to bring my buzzers because I have 4, she only has 3, and so maybe what I'll do is I'll only have 2 people come up to the board at a time. That's probably what I'll do. That's what I'll do. 2 people at a time. Alright, so I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will, yeah, talk to you later. Hello. So today was a good day. It's now about 4:15. I am heading out, going home. So I'm getting pretty darn close to contract hours. Note to self, for my future self, if you're watching this. If you are a secondary teacher, resource teacher at a middle school or high school, you will want to stay late between 4:30, possibly even 5. If you are an elementary school teacher, come early. Don't stay late. Just come early. Because let me tell you, this is so much, it takes so much more energy, at least, I mean, maybe it's because I'm pregnant, but I feel like teaching elementary school takes so much more energy than the secondary did. And so by the end of the day, I am exhausted, and I honestly don't want to do anything. I just want to be done. So if you get a job at a secondary school, plan on staying a little bit later. Don't go in super early, because then you'll be in really, really early. So just stay later. Try to leave at 4:30 though, Amy. Try to leave at 4:30 at a secondary school. And then at an elementary school, you should be there no later than about 8:20, 8:30. And then still stay until about 4:30. So, but just try to be way more productive, because it's just tiring. Like, it really is tiring. Tomorrow, doing. They're taking a math test, and then the teacher is going to be teaching the language arts lesson tomorrow. Mostly because this is the first time that they've taught wholes, and she kind of wants to go through the entire wholes book so that she knows for next year exactly how it runs, so that she's prepared and stuff like that. And we're actually getting really close to the end of it, so I'll probably be taking over the language arts class in November when we're starting like poetry and stuff like that, so, which is fine, totally fine with it. And then I am taking over math. Let me go over math today. So when I got to school, you guys kind of saw my very mini, it was a brief freak out moment when I realized that I did not have all the buzzers that I needed so that my 4 groups I could do a game with all 4 groups. So what I did is I split the class into 2 groups, which is pretty easy because of the way that it's set up. I split them into 2 groups, and I had written on the board, welcome to the math is right. And we made it into a game show. And then I used my iPad and I found some like game show music, and so as the students were coming into the classroom today, I had game show music playing, and you know, we turned it off for the pledge and stuff like that, but I had game show music playing, and then as I was explaining the rules, I had game show music playing. And I flat out told them, though, I was like, if you guys cannot all participate in the way that you are supposed to, then we will stop and you will be doing silent working on a chapter review. Like, so we can review together and have fun today in math, or you guys can silently work. And they were pretty darn good today. I was really impressed. So I had one student from each team come up, and as a game show, and I would play a little tune as they were coming up, which was like an audience clapping. So that was fun. And then as the game show host, I would read to them the math problem. And so the people at the board, they would have to do the math problem, but so would students in the classroom. So they had to write it down and do it as well. So everyone was working to figure it out, and then we would go over it afterwards. If people made mistakes, we would go over it to figure out where those mistakes were being made, kind of a thing. So we did that to do the review. And then they did have the chapter review. There's another one that I was having them do for homework, just as individual practice, so that, you know, I want them to do well on the test, so I was having them do that. And then if both of the people up there, well, if one person hit the buzzer, we would check their work. If it was wrong, the other person had a chance to steal it. And so I'd still have them working on it as we were going over the other person's. And if they got it right, if first person got it wrong, the second person got it right, then the second team would get the point. But if both teams got it wrong, then nobody got the point. And there was another, like, you know, the wah 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 kind of song on there that I found, and so I would play that if both of them got it wrong. And it was just a fun, engaging thing. And then there was one math problem that, like, they were just not getting. Like, they weren't even touching the buzzer. Like, they just were not getting. And before, there was no time limit, but I needed to put a time limit on this because they would have spent the entire time, the rest of class, doing this. And so it was one of those, like, really intense, like, songs that I started playing, and I let it play like 10 times because it was only 10 seconds long, and then they needed to be done doing it. But, like, it was just really fun. It was really engaging, and the students really loved it. They asked if they could always have their math lessons taught like that, and I was like, you know, depending on how you guys do on your test tomorrow, maybe the next time we're reviewing for a test and stuff like that, we can do fun games and stuff like this when we're reviewing and have fun with it. But you have to be able to focus, and you have to be able to perform well on the test in order for us to keep doing this, because if it doesn't work, then we can't do that kind of a thing. So I hope they really do well tomorrow, because they had a lot of fun reviewing. I had a lot of fun reviewing with them, and it was just, we had fun. So, and they were like, why do you have this music playing? And I'm like, because I'm a dramatic person. And some of the students, they're like, she's dramatic. She was my reading teacher last year for reading groups, and they're like, she's dramatic. It was just really funny. So it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun today. My feet really hurt. It's amazing how I could do about 2 miles of walking within one classroom in the day. Just walking around the classroom, walking about 2 miles. That's kind of crazy to me. So, but I have my cohort tonight, so I will be doing that tonight, and I'm hoping to also get some homework done, working on some of that, and also taking a nap. I need a nap. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. So yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Good morning, everyone. I am on my way to the school. Today is going to be, I don't want to say an interesting day, but it's going to be kind of an interesting day. So I'm already out of breath. So today the kids are taking a math test. So the way that the teacher does it is she gives them one math test but it's kind of a review math test. But if they get less than 3, or I think it's less than 3, so like 1 or 2 questions wrong on that test, then they don't have to do the actual test tomorrow. So they have like 2 chances to take the test, kind of a thing. And then so they're gonna take the first one today, and I'll be grading them today. And then she's gonna teach her Elevate lesson, the rewards lesson, and then instead of going to prep, which is again the specials like art, music, PE, and library, the students are going to an in-house field trip to the living aquarium. There's an aquarium closer to Salt Lake, which is about an hour from here, and I guess part of their aquarium can travel, and so they're bringing a display from their aquarium here to our school, and they're gonna set it up here in the school. And the students, each of the 4th grade classes, will take a turn today sometime to go and see that. And so that's gonna be during our prep time, so we don't have a prep time today. And then the teacher will teach the science class after that, and then I will continue with the writing that they have been doing all week. I'm hoping that the kids who are done with their rough draft, they will be able to type it out today, and those who are not done with their rough draft will be able to finish that and just turn that in, because we need to get that into the music teacher as soon as possible. So that is what I am hoping can be done today, as we do have computers today, which I guess it's not very often that they get computers. I don't know why, but it's not. And so, and I'm trying to see how much they can do, and I keep getting told by the teachers that, you know, expecting them to type out their papers in one sitting from like 2:45 to the end of the day. is not reasonable. That's almost an hour for them to be typing. So we will see. We'll see. I don't know their skill set yet with the typing and how long it takes them to type something out. So again, we will see. So yeah, that's the plans for the day. And then after school, I will be going again to the run a quick errand. I have to pick up some FMLA papers for my other job. I'm trying to stay on top of things because I don't want to lose my job because I am too sick to work. And like, I have been somewhat nauseous. I'm already on a medication that kind of helps throughout the day, but it wears off by the end of the day. There's this whole confusion about the prescription of Zofran. I was told that I couldn't have it till second trimester, but when I talked to somebody yesterday and I told them about my history of hyperemesis with every other pregnancy where I've been in the hospital, and that Zofran does help, they did prescribe it to me, so I have to pick up that prescription and those papers so that if anything were to happen, I can just call in and be able to use the FMLA time, which is fine. I don't even care if I use all of it, which I'm not planning on using all of it during this first 20 to 25 weeks of my pregnancy, because I am planning on quitting my job when I have the baby. I'm pretty much planning on my last day being like the last day of May, and then not working June or July, and most of August getting ready for teaching and just, yeah, all of that jazz. So that is the plan. Hoping it all works out. So I am almost at the school, so I'm gonna let you guys go. And I will talk to you guys after school and let you know how today went and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll talk to you later. Hello, hello, hello. So it is now, I'm getting out like at contract time pretty much. And I'm heading over to a doctor's office to pick up some paperwork. So I can scan it all in and send that off to my job. Sorry, just thinking about today, how it all went. I would say it was a good day. So I think the math review that I did yesterday was definitely a success, because we only have like 4 students that have to retake the test, and then we have another 2 students that weren't there today that will have to take it, so only 6 students total. But out of everyone, and most of them were really close, 2 of them actually don't have to retake the test, they're being given the option. So really only 2 students have to retake the test. 3 students have to retake the test. Yeah, 3. So I think it went very well today. And it's so funny that it went so that review went so well, because so the teacher today, she actually even told one of the other 4th grade teachers that the next time I do the test that she would come over and take over his class so that he can come in and observe me doing this game. And like, she thinks it was this like really thought out game, and I told her after she said that to him, I was like the funny thing about that game, I came up with it in like 10 minutes before school started. I was like, because I forgot to bring the other hand buzzer. And so I had to come up with something else. And she's like, well, it worked. And so we're going to probably, because this next chapter is quite a bit more difficult for the students. So what we're thinking is after every like 2 or 3 lessons, we might do a mini review of everything, or do a review for the mid chapter, but we're gonna incorporate more review type games into our lessons so that the students can really be invested in and interacting with these reviews. So that's the plan. But we don't want to keep redoing the same one that I did, because we don't want it to get old. So we want to come up with new ones. So from Pocketful Primary, I have Trasketball that we're going to try out with them. I have Jeopardy from Pocketful Primary that I'm going to try to come up with a way to incorporate Jeopardy. It may just be instead of, you know, in the form of a question kind of a thing. It might just be a question, they have to answer it. So that I'm excited about, just coming up with the different review type games and going over them. We also had like an in-school field trip today. Our aquarium from close to Salt Lake came in and brought some amphibians and reptiles in to show the students, and talked about the Utah wetlands and stuff like that. And so that was a lot of fun for them. They got to do that. And then after that, the teacher didn't come in for that, but after that I turned to the class because they've had a lot of problem coming in from like recess or lunch and prep and stuff like that, and just being very rowdy and very over the top, I guess you could say. And so I challenged them to walk into the classroom silently and just sit down and not say anything. And for the most part, that happened. Like, it was very, very quiet. I was very impressed. So, they came in, they sat down, they were really quiet. So I was able to let them just go and get, if they were done writing their courageous paper, they were able to go and get a computer and start typing it out. I had 2 students finish typing it. I think most of them are getting close to being done. But since for the most part, most of the students can just type tomorrow as well. Actually, let's stay here. Because that math test, they don't have to do it, and so they can type tomorrow as well. So that's one plan. We're gonna have that, and then if they do finish typing, they can get on to Prodigy or something like that and play. So overall, it was really good, and I'm really excited that it went really well today, because I was kind of freaking out. Like, I've only taught math 2 times. One of them was a review day, and the other was word problem day, and I kind of got like thrown that, like, it's kind of crazy. I did realize after looking at the test though, I should have gone over the word problems more, because it wasn't a test like multiply this number with this number and what's the answer, estimate this number and this number, what's the answer. It was all word problems. So they had to be able to read the word problem and figure out the word problem. Whereas I remember tests growing up, the majority of it was not word problems. The majority of it was, you know, what's this times this? What's this divided by this? What's, you know, this plus this? What's this minus this? And then there was like maybe 2 or 3 word problems at the end. And so those were the tests that I grew up on. It's not how it was today. It was like they were all word problems, all of them. So they had to read a word problem and figure it out. So I need to work more on word problems with the students. To like figure out how to solve those word problems and feel confident in them, because that was all the test was word problems. So that kind of threw me off a little bit, but I was really proud of them. And for the most part, a lot of the students that struggle a lot in math, they did really well. So again, I was just really proud of them. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you go so I can run this quick errand. So I can, yeah, just run this quick errand and get home so I can scan everything and get everything submitted so that my FMLA can start up when I need it, instead of me stressing about it all the time. So it's a good thing. So yeah, I will talk to you guys all later. Bye. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday. It is the last day of the week, and I will edit this video and post the last 2 weeks because I realized that you guys have not seen anything since I changed schools. So yeah, I woke up this morning and like one ear is completely like clogged, like I don't know. Hurts a little, it's clogged. I'm hoping I don't have an ear infection. Last night I did not work. I felt so sick. I did get all my FMLA paperwork and I submitted all of that. So I'm just waiting for that all to go through, and then I will be able to just email them instead of having to like fight for PTO or anything like that. I'll be able to email them and let them know, hey, I'm not feeling well, I can't work tonight, and everything. So, but yeah, last night I felt awful. So today at school, at the very beginning, it's a shorter day for students. I don't feel very good right now. It's a shorter day for students. So there's no prep and stuff like that, but the very beginning, like I said yesterday, only a few students have to do the math test, and so the rest of the students are going to finish typing up their courage papers, and then they can play Prodigy, and then we're going to probably finish the Elevate lesson, do rewards, science, stuff like that. And then there's an assembly at the end of the day, so I don't think there's going to be enough time for writing anyway at the end of the day. So next week I'm planning on really getting into starting my writing lessons. So I need to really sit down and figure all of those out, at least for next week, this weekend. Figure out exactly what I'm going to be doing for that. But I'm at the gas station. I'm gonna put a little bit of gas in the car, and then I'm going to head off into work. I'm gonna end up being like really early for work, but that's okay. Today it's a sports team day, so I'm wearing my Cubs shirt, which means I'm probably gonna get reamed because, and it's not because it's Cubs, it's because it's baseball. I honestly don't really watch any sports, but it's the only sports shirt I have. So there we have it. So I'll talk to you guys later today, and yeah, bye. Good afternoon. It is now about 4:20, so getting out relatively on time. So today was a weird day for me. I'm kind of deaf. Today this ear has been clogged up all day, like it needs to pop, and it hasn't all day, and so I have not been able to hear like anything out of this ear all day, which makes talking to students really difficult. So I've had to like turn to like this side and like talking to this ear. I can hear in this ear today. Just makes it really weird. Good news, I got an email that I have been approved for FMLA. So I can start taking that instead of begging my supervisor to get me BTO every night. I just have to figure out how much money we have after grocery shopping to get the medication from Walgreens. I'm also waiting because I applied for, I'm not ashamed of it, but I did apply for Medicaid just because for these first few months, because I'm not working as much and stuff like that, and mostly for like medication and stuff like that. Hoping to get off of it by the end of the pregnancy, actually before the end. So, but it would be a nice help for now. So, and I should know about that in a few weeks before even my first appointment, so I'll be good. Today, they spent the first math time. Kids were retaking the test or taking the test for the first time, and while other students were working on their courage papers. For the most part, most of the kids got the courage papers done. I am so proud of these kids with the math test. A huge chunk of them got like 100%. Nobody got below like an 84%. Like, it was a really good math test. So I'm really proud of them. So hopefully when I start teaching, because most of that was all to do with Mrs. The teacher, because I came in near the end of it. But I'm really proud of them. They did really well. And then I'm gonna start on chapter 4 next week. So that's gonna be super fun. That's like division. So we're gonna start with division next week. So it'll be great. I don't think I told you guys, yesterday I got offered a long-term sub position at the school that I'm at right now, that will start right after I'm done student teaching. So I just need to get all my substitute paperwork completed and stuff like that, and then I'll be taking on a maternity leave at the school that I'm at right now. It's going to be interesting because it's kindergarten. Yeah, it's kindergarten. I'm not a tiny human teacher, but I will do it, and I will be grateful for it because it is a long-term sub position. It'll make me see if I really am not a tiny human person, or if I just feel like I'm not. So it'll be good for me to take the long-term position there. So I do have that. So I will be actually at this school until the end of January, and not just pretty much up to Christmas break. So I'll be here till the end of January. So that'll be fun. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I did place an Amazon order last night. I'm gonna get some of those pocket protectors for dry erase markers. And so I'll be using those in the lessons. I also ordered some pants that will fit me, so that will be awesome. So yeah. That's pretty much it. I do have in my planner everything blocked out of what's gonna happen next week. I just need to really plan it out and go over everything so that I'm not like winging anything, so I know what's going on before I teach it. So I need to do that. So yeah, I'm gonna let you all go and I will talk to you next week. Have a great weekend. Hi everyone, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching this video and for being here along this journey with me. If you are interested in subscribing to my channel, go ahead and click on that link down below. It's a little picture of me. Go ahead and click on that. If you want to watch one of my previous videos, there's a link for that as well. Feel free to go ahead and click that. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel so that you can be here for the next one. Thank you guys again so much and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.